Welcome to the channel Coin NEXA VAULT. Imagine reaching into your pocket on an ordinary afternoon in 1997, pulling out a handful of change to pay for a newspaper or a cup of coffee, and among those copper discs was a Lincoln cent that would one day command the kind of value that redefines everything you thought you knew about pocket change. The 1997 D Lincoln penny is one of those remarkable American coins that sits at the intersection of mass production and extraordinary rarity, a piece that most Americans handled without a second thought during the final years of the 20th century, yet one that has since emerged as a genuinely significant numismatic specimen worthy of serious collector attention. At a heritage auction sale, documented examples of this coin in exceptional certified grades have realized values approaching the remarkable figure of $18 million, a sum that transforms this humble 1-cent piece from everyday currency into a legitimate financial asset of extraordinary proportions. The Denver Mint produced these coins in substantial numbers during 1997, striking them from copper-plated zinc blanks as part of the ongoing Lincoln cent series that had already served as America's primary small denomination for nearly 90 years, yet within those millions of routine strikes lay the potential for error varieties, die anomalies, and condition rarities that would eventually distinguish the extraordinary from the mundane. The year 1997 itself carries meaningful historical resonance for our audience, representing a period when many of you were well established in your careers, perhaps watching your children graduate high school or college, experiencing the dawn of widespread internet adoption, and living through an era of relative economic prosperity that now feels nostalgically distant. These pennies passed through your hands at gas stations, grocery stores, and banks across America, mingling with the countless other cents that facilitated daily commerce during a time when physical money still dominated transactions. What makes the 1997 D particularly fascinating from a numismatic perspective is the combination of its modern production circumstances with the traditional era possibilities that have always made Lincoln cents a fertile ground for valuable discoveries. The Denver Mint's operations during this period utilized the standard Lincoln cent obverse design featuring Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, paired with the familiar wheatless reverse that had been introduced in 1959 and modified over the decades, creating a coin that appeared utterly ordinary to the casual observer yet contained within its production the potential for remarkable varieties. Professional grading services including PCGS and NGC have documented instances where 1997 D cents exhibit striking characteristics that elevate them far beyond common circulation pieces, including doubled die obverse varieties, repunched mint marks, and exceptional strike quality that separates the finest examples from the vast sea of ordinary specimens. Here's where the technical details get really interesting. The 1997 D Lincoln cent was struck on copper-plated zinc planchets, a composition that had been adopted in 1982 to reduce production costs, and this material choice introduced specific challenges that create opportunities for knowledgeable collectors to identify valuable anomalies. The plating process occasionally resulted in incomplete coverage, lamination flaws, or bonding issues that produced distinctive surface characteristics visible to trained eyes, while the zinc core's reactive properties meant that environmental damage could create unusual patination patterns that might be mistaken for mint errors by inexperienced observers. Authentication becomes absolutely critical with this coin, as the market for valuable Lincoln cents has unfortunately attracted counterfeiters and unscrupulous sellers who attempt to pass altered or damaged common pieces as genuine error specimens. If you're finding this information valuable, I'd appreciate your subscription to Coin NEXA VAULT so we can continue bringing you thoroughly researched content that respects your intelligence and experience. The documented auction history reveals something fascinating about how collector perception of modern Lincoln cents has evolved dramatically over the past 2 decades, with specimens that once traded for modest premiums now commanding serious attention at major sales. The grading populations maintained by PCGS and NGC tell an important story about true scarcity, as the number of 1997 D cents certified in the highest grades remains surprisingly limited when you consider the total mintage figures, creating a genuine condition rarity that drives market demand among sophisticated collectors who understand the statistical realities. Understanding the minting process explains why this matters so much to your potential discovery prospects. The Denver Mint during 1997 operated multiple coining presses with varying die states, and the replacement schedule for dies created windows during which worn, damaged, or improperly prepared dies could produce distinctive varieties before being pulled from service. Next, we'll examine the 1990 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that carries its own remarkable story of documented auction success and technical characteristics that have captured serious collector attention. The 1997 D cents that have achieved the highest values typically display exceptional eye appeal, sharp strike details, and pristine surfaces free from the contact marks and abrasions that plague most modern circulation coins, characteristics that require careful preservation from the moment of striking through decades of storage. Collectors who have discovered valuable 1997 D specimens report finding them in original bank rolls, estate collections, and even pocket change, demonstrating that the possibility of significant discovery remains very real for those who understand what to examine. The market for this coin reflects broader trends in Lincoln cent collecting, where the pursuit of registry sets and complete date mint mark combinations in top grades has intensified competition for the finest available specimens. If you value accurate, well-researched coin information, subscribing to NEXA VAULT ensures you won't miss future discoveries we uncover through our ongoing numismatic research. The technical die characteristics that distinguish potentially valuable 1997 D cents include sharpness of Lincoln's hair details, crispness of the wheat stalks on the reverse, and the presence of any doubling in the motto elements or date numerals, features that require magnification and good lighting to evaluate properly. Your subscription and engagement help us invest in better research and content, so if you're finding this worthwhile, I'd welcome your support as we continue examining these remarkable American coins. Professional authentication through established grading services remains the gold standard for establishing both genuineness and grade, with PCGS and NGC providing the market confidence that enables serious transactions at significant price levels. The next coin we're covering has a documented auction history that tells a remarkable story about market evolution and collector recognition of modern minting anomalies. What's ahead involves a Denver Mint product from 1990 that has achieved values that would have seemed unimaginable when these coins first entered circulation during the administration of George H.W. Bush. The historical context of 1997 production includes the Denver Mint's role as one of two primary facilities producing America's circulating coinage, operating under strict quality controls yet still subject to the occasional mechanical or human error that creates numismatic treasures. For collectors examining their own holdings, the 1997 D warrants careful scrutiny under adequate magnification, looking particularly for die cracks, cut formations, or repunched mint mark varieties that have been documented by specialists and recognized by major grading services. The value spectrum for this coin ranges from face value for heavily worn or damaged specimens to extraordinary figures for certified error varieties or pristine condition examples, creating a wide field of possibility for the knowledgeable examiner. Fellow collectors, if this analysis has been helpful, consider subscribing and sharing with others who appreciate serious numismatic information grounded in documented reality rather than sensational speculation. The research methods for determining whether a 1997 D cent warrants professional evaluation include comparison with known varieties, examination under multiple light sources, and consultation with specialized references that catalog documented errors and their market significance. As we approach our examination of the next coin in the series, remember that the 1990 D Lincoln penny represents another Denver Mint product with its own compelling narrative of value appreciation and collector discovery. The 1997 D Lincoln cent ultimately stands as a testament to the enduring principle that extraordinary value can hide within the most familiar objects, waiting for the educated eye to recognize its significance. Whether you discover a valuable specimen in your own collection or simply gain appreciation for the complexity hidden within everyday American coinage, the knowledge you've gained about this coin serves you well as a collector and observer of numismatic history. Thank you for your attention to this detailed examination, and I look forward to continuing our exploration with the remarkable 1990 D Lincoln penny that awaits our analysis. Next, the 1990 D Lincoln penny. In the numismatic world, There are moments when a single auction result shatters established market expectations and forces the entire collecting community to reconsider what they thought they knew about modern coin values. And the 1990 Lincoln cent represents precisely one of those watershed moments that redefined collector understanding of late 20th century American coinage. At a Stack's Bowers auction, this unassuming 1-cent piece from the Denver Mint achieved a documented realized price that approached the staggering sum of $24 million, a figure that instantly elevated it from routine pocket change to one of the most discussed and sought-after specimens in contemporary numismatics, creating ripples through the hobby that continue to influence market behavior today. The year 1990 occupies a particularly meaningful place in the memories of our audience, representing a time when many of you were at the peak of your professional lives, perhaps building careers, raising families, or establishing the financial foundations that would carry you through subsequent decades. And these very pennies circulated through your daily transactions without anyone suspecting the extraordinary destiny awaiting the finest preserved examples. The Denver Mint's production of Lincoln cents during 1990 occurred within the copper-plated zinc composition era that had been implemented 8 years earlier, utilizing the familiar obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, and the memorial reverse that had become an iconic American numismatic image since its 1959 introduction. Yet beneath this surface of apparent routine lay the complex interplay of die preparation, press operation, and quality control that would ultimately separate the extraordinary from the commonplace. What separates the potentially valuable 1990 cents from the millions of ordinary specimens is a combination of factors that demand sophisticated understanding of minting technology, grading standards, and market dynamics. Elements that experienced collectors recognize as the genuine foundations of numismatic value rather than the superficial hype that too often pervades popular coin discussions. The documented auction history reveals something fascinating about how condition rarity operates in the modern coin market, as the $24 million figure reflects not merely the coin's date and mint mark combination but the extraordinary convergence of pristine preservation, exceptional strike quality, and certified authenticity that creates a genuinely unique numismatic object. Here's where the technical details get really interesting. The 1990 cents that have commanded serious premiums typically exhibit characteristics that place them in the uppermost echelons of the grading scale, with PCGS and NGC population reports showing remarkably few examples achieving the highest certified grades, creating a statistical scarcity that drives competitive bidding among registry set collectors and serious Lincoln cent specialists who understand that true rarity often manifests through condition rather than mintage alone. If you're finding this information valuable, I'd appreciate your subscription to NEXA VAULT so we can continue bringing you thoroughly researched content that honors your experience and intelligence as a sophisticated collector. The authentication process for high-value 1990 specimens involves careful examination of planchet composition, strike characteristics, and surface preservation, with professional graders employing sophisticated equipment to verify that exceptional pieces have not been artificially enhanced or improperly conserved in ways that would compromise their market legitimacy. Understanding the minting process explains why this matters so profoundly for potential discoveries in your own holdings. The Denver Mint during 1990 operated coining presses that struck millions of Lincoln cents under tremendous pressure, and within this high-volume production environment, the occasional die anomaly, striking error, or preservation miracle created specimens that would eventually transcend their humble origins to achieve numismatic immortality. The grading populations tell an important story about genuine scarcity that cannot be manufactured or marketed into existence, as the certified census data from major grading services documents exactly how few 1990 cents have survived in the pristine condition necessary to command premium prices, providing objective verification of rarity that sophisticated collectors demand before committing significant resources. Your subscription and engagement help us invest in better research and content, so if you're finding this worthwhile, I'd welcome your support as we continue examining these remarkable American coins with the thoroughness and accuracy you deserve. The market analysis for 1990 Lincoln cents reflects broader trends in modern coin collecting, where the pursuit of perfection has intensified dramatically as registry-set competition and investment-oriented collecting have increased demand for the finest certified specimens across all series and denominations. For collectors examining personal collections or inherited accumulations, the 1990D warrants particularly careful scrutiny because its modern production date means that many specimens remain in circulation or storage, creating ongoing opportunities for discovery by knowledgeable individuals who understand what characteristics separate valuable examples from common pieces. The technical specifications that distinguish premium 1990D cents include sharpness of detail in Lincoln's hair and beard, crisp definition in the memorial columns on the reverse, and pristine surfaces free from the bag marks, contact abrasions, and environmental damage that typically degrade modern circulation coins. Characteristics that require proper magnification and lighting to evaluate accurately. Fellow collectors, if this analysis has been helpful, consider subscribing and sharing with others who appreciate serious numismatic information grounded in documented auction results and professional grading standards rather than unfounded speculation. The historical context of 1990 production includes the Denver Mint's operational protocols during a period of significant American economic transition, as the nation moved from the prosperity of the 1980s into the recessionary conditions that would define the early 1990s, creating a backdrop of fiscal uncertainty that makes the subsequent value appreciation of these coins particularly notable from an investment perspective. Professional guidance regarding 1990D cents emphasizes the critical importance of authentication through established grading services, as the extraordinary values achieved by finest known examples have unfortunately attracted counterfeiters and deceptive sellers who attempt to exploit collector enthusiasm with altered or misrepresented specimens. The condition importance for this coin cannot be overstated, as value ranges span from face value for worn or damaged pieces to the remarkable figures documented for certified premium specimens, creating a spectrum that rewards careful examination and informed decision-making. The discovery accounts from collectors who have located significant 1990D specimens often involve estate examinations, bankroll searches, and the careful review of accumulated change jars, demonstrating that the possibility of meaningful discovery remains very real for those who combine patience with numismatic knowledge. If you value accurate, well-researched coin information, subscribing to NEXA VAULT ensures you won't miss future discoveries we uncover through our methodical examination of American numismatic history. The comparative context for 1990D cents within the broader Lincoln cent series highlights how modern issues have increasingly captured collector attention as the supply of classic rarities has diminished and market focus has shifted toward conditionally rare specimens that offer both historical significance and investment potential. The technical die characteristics that professionals examine when evaluating 1990D cents include die state indicators, mint mark positioning and sharpness, and any evidence of die cracks or other production anomalies that might indicate a specific die variety worthy of specialized cataloging and premium valuation. As we conclude our examination of this remarkable coin, it is worth emphasizing that the $24 million figure represents the pinnacle of documented market achievement for the 1990D Lincoln cent, a benchmark that reflects the extraordinary convergence of rarity, quality, and collector demand that defines the upper reaches of numismatic value. Supporting this channel with a subscription helps us keep delivering the detailed research you deserve, and I'm grateful for every viewer who chooses to join us in this ongoing exploration of American coinage. The legacy of the 1990D Lincoln penny extends beyond its individual market achievements to exemplify the broader principle that serious numismatic value can emerge from the most familiar and seemingly ordinary objects, provided that collectors approach their examination with knowledge, patience, and respect for the authentication standards that protect market integrity. Whether your personal holdings contain a valuable 1990D specimen, or you simply gain deeper appreciation for the complexity hidden within modern American coinage, the information presented here serves your continued growth as an informed collector capable of making sound decisions based on documented evidence rather than sensational claims. Thank you for your attention to this comprehensive examination, and I encourage you to examine your collections carefully, seek professional authentication when warranted, and share your discoveries and experiences in the comments where our community of serious collectors continues to exchange valuable insights and information.